History remembers names, not blood. The Targaryens, once gods among men, ruled Westeros with dragons and absolute power. But their greatest threat came from within, not from enemies at their gates. The Dance of the Dragons is a tragedy, a family feud that shattered an empire. Their dragons, symbols of strength, became weapons of self-destruction. The war pitted kin against kin, dragon against dragon, and left the realm forever changed. Once, the skies above King's Landing teemed with nearly 20 dragons, a golden age that seemed unbreakable. But beneath the peace, rivalries and ambition festered. The Targaryens believed themselves invincible, forgetting their own humanity was their greatest weakness. The Dance of the Dragons is a warning. Even the mightiest house can destroy itself from within. This is the story of how the House of the Dragon set fire to its own legacy. 2 centuries before Game of Thrones, King Viserys I Targaryen ruled at the height of Targaryen power. Dragons soared over King's Landing, and the Targaryens seemed eternal. Viserys was a gentle king, but fate was cruel. His only surviving child was a daughter, Rhaenyra. Despite tradition, Viserys named Rhaenyra his heir, gathering the lords to swear fealty to her. But tragedy struck. Queen Aemma died in childbirth, and the king remarried Alicent Hightower, Rhaenyra's childhood friend. Alicent bore Viserys' sons, reigniting the question of succession. The court split, some loyal to Rhaenyra, others to Alicent's children. The king's decision to keep Rhaenyra as heir planted seeds of conflict. Friendship turned to rivalry, and the kingdom's unity began to fracture. The marriage that was meant to heal only deepened the divide. The stage was set for a war that would tear the realm apart. The Golden Age was ending. Viserys' marriage to Alicent shattered Rhaenyra's trust. Her friend became her rival. Alicent gave the king sons, but Viserys refused to disinherit Rhaenyra. The court split. Some clung to tradition, others to the king's promise. Rhaenyra and Alicent's friendship curdled into bitter enmity, dividing the court. Rhaenyra married for alliance, but rumors about her children's parentage undermined her claim. Alicent, fiercely protective, championed her son Aegon's right to rule. The king's pleas for peace were ignored. The family was broken. Every gesture became a battle, every word a weapon. The succession crisis was no longer private. It was a public war in waiting. The Targaryen house was now a powder keg. The court split into 2 factions: the Greens, loyal to Alicent and Aegon, and the Blacks, loyal to Rhaenyra. The Greens, led by the Hightowers, championed tradition and Aegon's claim. The Blacks, with House Targaryen and Prince Daemon, stood by Rhaenyra. Rhaenyra's marriage to Daemon united powerful Targaryen bloodlines. The next generation inherited their parents' hatred. Rivalries turned violent. Aemon lost an eye to Lucerys, then claimed the mighty dragon Vhagar. The king's authority faded. Otto Hightower filled the court with green loyalists. Rhaenyra, feeling threatened, retreated to Dragonstone to gather her own court. The realm was a tinderbox, 2 rival courts, one inevitable war. The storm was about to break. King Viserys' death shattered the fragile peace. In his final moments, he spoke of Aegon's prophecy. Alicent believed he meant their son, Aegon II. The Greens seized the moment, hiding the king's death and locking down the Red Keep. Loyalists to Rhaenyra were silenced or killed. The council was forced to accept Aegon's coronation. Aegon, reluctant and fearful, was crowned in secret, while Rhaenyra, pregnant and on Dragonstone, remained unaware. The Greens' coup was an act of treason, breaking oaths sworn to Rhaenyra. When news reached her, grief turned to fury. The secret coronation was not the end, but the beginning of war. The Dance of the Dragons had begun. The realm was now split between 2 monarchs, each claiming the Iron Throne. The time for whispers was over. The Game of Thrones had become a war of dragons. Blood would follow. Rhaenyra's grief hardened into resolve. She crowned herself queen on Dragonstone. She called the lords to honor their oaths, demanding allegiance. The first blood was shed not by armies, but by dragons. Rhaenyra's son Viserys, sent as an envoy, was killed by Aemond and Vhagar. The murder of Viserys ended any hope of peace. Daemon Targaryen answered with vengeance. Assassins killed Aegon II's young son in the Red Keep. The war escalated. Battles raged, dragons clashed in the skies, and the common folk suffered. For the first time, dragons fought dragons. Fire and blood rained from above. The Targaryens' greatest power became their greatest curse. The realm burned as kin destroyed kin. The war was no longer about succession. It was about survival. The skies of Westeros became a battlefield. The Age of Dragons was ending in fire. The Dance of the Dragons devastated Westeros. At Rook's Rest, Princess Rhaenys fell, but Aegon II was left crippled. Rhaenyra's forces captured King's Landing. She sat on the Iron Throne, but her reign was short and bitter. The people turned against her, her rule marked by paranoia and cruelty. A mob stormed the dragon pit, killing dragons and Rhaenyra's son. Forced to flee, Rhaenyra was betrayed at Dragonstone and captured by Aegon II. In a final act of vengeance, Aegon fed Rhaenyra to his dragon before her son's eyes. Aegon II reclaimed the throne, but his victory was hollow. The kingdom was ruined, the dragons nearly extinct. The Targaryen legacy was in ashes. The war had destroyed the very foundation of their power. The House of the Dragon was broken. Rhaenyra was dead, but the war dragged on in her son's name. Aegon II, abandoned by his own men, was poisoned, both claimants gone. Peace was brokered. Rhaenyra's son, Aegon III, was crowned, uniting the shattered house. The cost was catastrophic. Thousands dead, great houses lost, and the dragons all but extinct. The Targaryens had destroyed their own power. Aegon III, haunted by his mother's death, presided over the twilight of the dragons. The dynasty survived, but diminished. No longer gods, but men. The seeds of their final downfall were sown in this war. The Dance of the Dragons is a lesson in the cost of ambition and the fragility of power. It began with love and ended in ruin. The House of the Dragon never truly recovered. Even the greatest dynasty can fall, especially when it turns on itself.